I know it will. I'm about the big Larry came on just to put him down. SpongeBob turned into a. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I am coming at you today with a VeVe, OMI, DEFFINITY, DEVVE, daCat, FIAS update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. This has been one of the bloodiest days in crypto. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people that have committed seppuku, leapt off buildings, found a ledge, or a lady of the night. Sometimes people do that for their blowing off of steam and doing other things concerning the word blow. Anyway, we have, I think, about I don't know, several $100 billion in liquidations over the past month. ETH is down. Well, Bitcoin's down 40%. ETH is down 50% in a month. They're acting like meme coins. I am Groot says Bitcoin going to 5K. So that's obviously not going to happen. He's being a little facetious there. But aside from facetiousness and other ostentatious forms of people that are going to be commenting tonight, telling us how bad they're down, we actually did have a little bit of a bounce. Bitcoin did touch about 60K. I don't think it went under that, but it did touch it. We are back to 63.6. We'll see where we go. Is at the bottom. The rainbow chart that everyone likes to go out and throw around, where the bottom was 65K. We broke through that. We broke through every chart. It is done. It is Anakin killing younglings. Like the horse is dead. It's gone. I'm Groot says, I would say we're in a bear market. How long it lasts is the question. Remember when I was talking back in December when I said, oh yeah, there's a buddy of mine telling me that he got a call on October 9th telling him to cash out or close out his longs. And then October 10th, it was the bloodiest day in crypto history, going from, I think, 126 to like 110. Obviously, we beat that. He did say that his same friend gave him a call. Again, big bankers saying, hey, we're going to do the same thing in February, March. And look what the heck happened. Did I listen? I did not. Not that I bought any more in crazy amounts. I just got a little DEFFINITY buy here. DEFFINITY had a very, very rough, the entire market had a rough day. We'll get to it. Let's see what this buy is. I hate it when it updates on. Okay, so we're just under 1 penny on there. Somebody be getting $784. There was a big whale that was selling. That is the big reason why DEFFINITY went down. After tens of thousands of dollars, we were able to buy off most of the rest of that whale. That will no longer be an issue, at least right now. And if anything, that whale will go in and buy back. But we will get to DEFFINITY later. Ben Robinson says, OMI quad zero coming. Now, that is something I've been calling for a little while. Not that I've actually been calling or hoping for it, but that's something that is, I mean, when the entire market's down 50%, again, in a month, OMI only needs to go down about 30% in order for that to happen. We're down about 10% on the day. And we are at 0001229. There have been some deals on Stacker. I was able to get a partner statue today for about $800. One of the reasons why I got one is because there's a new CEO at Disney, and the CEO at Disney he was instrumental in giving, I forget how many billions they gave to Fortnite to own a certain percentage of them. He really likes the metaverse. I think he likes NFTs. I think this is going to be very good for VeVe now that they have a new CEO. Obviously, everybody liked Bob Iger. I don't think anyone really liked Bob Chapek, but he seems to be embracing AI. But I think he's a little reserved in that. Anyone remembers Blazing Saddles, and everyone remembers, Gene Hackman is like, oh yeah, he's going to be great. And he was just very reserved in it, just very like, oh, okay, like very laid back. I'm very positive, and I work with a bunch of AI companies. I work with AI. This is kind of the next thing that I'm doing. I was one of the only people in there to ever have a former Bay leave them for AI, which was very wild. So I got super into it. All the hallucinations, everything that people have. I think there's 50,000 members of my AI boyfriend subreddit. Now, how many people are there that are just trolling? How many people are there because they haven't done it yet? Even if it's half, there's still 25,000 people that are in intimate relationships with their AI. That's admitting it to Reddit. There's some people that I don't think would ever admit it, but anyone that's in the business, I'm in the business of misery. Let's take it from the top. Sorry. Every time I say a quote from Haley Williams, you gotta sing it. I know I will not be like Gary Coleman. That remember when he died the day that Haley Williams nudes was leaked. Always thought there was a connection there. There might not have been. Anyway, my friendo is making some racket over there, so I'm gonna hang up on her now. I'll talk to you later. So I have a friend that's gonna be on the podcast on Saturday. His name is Joe Rayo. He's a physics teacher, and he's been on the podcast before. We talk about Pokemon. We've done a lot of Pokemon deals, like multiple 5-figure deals over the course of the last several years. And like he's been on before. He's just like, hey, can you just like have me on in the background, first so I like get used to it. So anyway, you'll see him on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, maybe 8:15. He's got kids. Anyway, the OMI Quad Zero stuff. Deals on Stacker. There are deals to be had over there. So I have 2 partner statues now. Why? Because I believe in Harvey Dent. I believe that the new CEO for Disney is going to be very, very good to VeVe as far as digital collectibles go. Now, there's other stuff. There's Todd for 277. I didn't get him. Michelangelo and Leonardo. Is that Riso? Riso's at 650. He's not as cheap as I thought he would go. If he went under 5, I'd probably get him. But still, 650. But that's 5.2 million OMI. God damn, OMI is down. It's a 3-digit too. 3-digit, 783 at the floor, but it goes from 650 to 662. It's not really that big of a deal. Whereas the partners is a little bit, my back. The partners is a little bit better to get, as long as I can get it here, because there's it's actually one at 856, and then it jumps right to $1,000. So you immediately go up 15%, which is nice. And then it goes to 1100, and then 1250, and then it stays there for a bit. But and it's actually Mr. Squeeb. So be advised, if you go to like the top holders of this, Mr. Squeeb is actually number 3. He has 25 of these freaking things. Dr. Collect has 399. No one will ever touch that. And then you have King Mavs, KM3000, that has 75. Like, Jesus, man. Somebody, I have no idea who he is, that has 24. And then Meta V John has 20. Those are the top 5 holders. I have 2. So, yeah, I'm never going to get on that list. Oh, maybe other things happen. Maybe I'll get 21. I don't know. I mean, it's good to have. Anyway, let's go and say that the 14UHF9, blah, 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 is an opportunity of a lifetime. So excited. I got 100K DEVVE. Message me on X, because I saw your comment on YouTube. Shoot me a message on X, and we'll get you in the stuff. But you don't have to have that much to get in the normal Telegram. But yeah, good for you. That's a lot. I mean, it was a lot when it was $1.80. Now it's like 7 cents, but still very good, very happy. But it says we're not in a bear market. I mean, I don't know what we're in. I don't know if this really goes into like bull market, bear market anymore. I think it's just peaks and valleys at this point. Buyer's market, seller's market. It is a buyer's market now, because everyone is selling, which again, well, I think he meant 100,000 DEVVE tokens. Or do you mean $100,000 in DEVVE? Make that distinction, please, because if so, you have a lot. But yeah, like, are we in a bear market? It's hard. You say we're not. I mean, we've never had an alt, like we haven't had an alt season in 5 years. Like 2021 was the last time. Early 2022, we were still there. But yeah, everything is just okay. Got 100K DEVVE tokens. Gotcha. I'm gonna. Ah, bless me. Ah, sorry. I mean, we haven't had an alt season in like 5 years. In 4 years, because we 4-ish. We were obviously still in, tail end of bull market territory in early 2022. But it's been nothing but down for alt since. I know people kind of like to pick on OMI, like to pick on whatever. It's been every single altcoin. And even though Binance, let's say they have like predatory practices, whatever, and people's like, see, things got listed on Binance and they just don't. I mean, that's just been the market, regardless of whether they would be on Binance or not. They just dump. When are we gonna get out of this? I mean, we bounced it. We had a nice bounce at 60. Is that, I think the 400 weekly moving average is at like 59. So maybe that's it had to bounce off there. Maybe we never go lower again. Or this is just dead cat bounce and we just go way, way lower. We go past there, what is it, like 37, like the 800 week moving average? That would be insane. And if we go lower than that, I don't know. Again, I had a buddy of mine said they had buy orders at like 25K. The fact that we came like I was going to say something bad, a hair away from 59.9, that doesn't inspire too much confidence, but it's temporary. Now, how bad does it get in the temporary that it is? I don't know. 35K, 50. Again, maybe the worst is over. We don't know. We're not sure yet. Give me over that. We have a bunch of news to go over as well. What's up, daCat? Sapper out daCat. Reposting the stream saying daCat in the house. We love you. We love you long time. Penguin saying 100K on DEVVE. Oh yeah, no. He meant 100K DEVVE tokens. Hurts me when you say a couple grand, not a lot. A lot of money for most people and me. Okay, so it is. And a couple grand can turn into 2 grand can turn to 100K. Like you put on the right thing at the right time and you hodl. You could get to 100K. I think OMI, DEVVE, DEFINITY, FIAS and daCat. Well, FIAS we're working on it. And we'll go over that as well. FIAS actually had a good day. It was up 30% at one point. So anything that I think the only thing in like the top 50 or 100 was like Hyperliquid. So Hype did well, and then like FIAS did well today, and like those are the only 2 tokens that I know of that did well. But from here, daCat, what is it like? We went down to like what, $600,000 market cap for daCat. Where we at here? Yeah, 637. So let's say 650, right? Oh, we'd have to get it to 32.5 million to do a 50. That's a lot. I mean, I'll get the valuation up to $1 million by next year. I mean, for the IP, the actual token. Again, stuff can do anything, and because it's paired with, part of the reason it's down, it doesn't have that much cells, but it's down 10% just because of the fact that it's paired with ETH. Like you got the $94,000 in daCat, but there's $93,000.98, $94,000 of Ethereum. So when ETH goes down, they form a Symbian circle. What happens to one affects the other. So when ETH goes up, so does daCat in a big way. Because yeah, there's only $400 in volume, so obviously 400 doesn't take it down. It's the fact that ETH just got destroyed, and that's the reason for a lot of, like, that's also partly why DEFINITY is down 17%. It's because there's only 4,400 in volume, and there is a good amount of buys, but it just, yeah, ETH going down just has a net negative effect on everything that it's paired with. Anyway, I've always said that no matter how rich I get, I'll still eat Taco Bell. I'll still like peanut butter whiskey. I'll still, like I like beer. I'm just, there's a line in Gilmore Girls. I forget which time. There's only a few times that Emily comes to Stars Hollow. I don't know if it's this one or when they're going out for Lorelai's engagement party, where they talk to Emily like, "Oh, Emily, you look all fancy, but at the end of the day, you're just a broad." I forget if it's Sally Struthers or Liz Torres that says that line. I'm just a dude. So I like like Mr. Quinn of Hey Arnold. You can offer me a diamond-plated pearl. You could offer me all the riches in the world. You can tempt me with the Palisades of Kings, but I'd give them back in a big old sack and keep the simple things. I like the simple things, and I don't need a ton to be happy. And yes, a couple grand, like, you know, if you're working paycheck to paycheck and you have kids, you have family, you have expense, just rent, you know, just stuff. It is an accomplishment to be able to say, like, hey, I took a couple grand and I, you know, I invested it. And if you have, you're investing in the proper things, have good businesses, doxed owners. I don't think I'd invest in anything where the people aren't doxed, like, ever. So any token that's like a meme coin, if you're not doxed, like, you can do whatever you want. And that doesn't mean like there's some people out there that's just like, listen, I've seen people that were doxed, they get, you know, death threats, I get, like, I've had those, and I'm fully doxed. So people are just like, you know, they, for safety, and that's a legitimate concern, but you're in a business, and like, how do you expect people to invest if you're not willing to put yourself out there? So anyway, so long as they're doxed, they have business behind it, utility in the token, there's an actual use case for it. You know, do they solve problems? OMI and VeVe solving a major problem. DEFFinity, DEVVE, FIAS, it's on a major problem. daCat, I don't say necessarily solves a problem, but we're doing things that no one's ever done before, uniting a bunch of meme communities in comic version, making, like, again, it is a business. And if you want to get discounts on certain things, yeah, we'll take discounts for the daCat token. And we'll also go in and say, you know what? We might give away some daCat token for people that stack the comic. Anyway, it is an accomplishment to go out and say, like, hey, I have a couple grand invested, because in crypto, especially at these lows, that can get very high. Like, you can go in and have just a crazy winner, and you don't need to do a 50x. You'd get like a 10x and roll it into something that, and then that does a 5x. You know, 5x into a 5x into a 2x. It doesn't need to, you know, it doesn't need to be a crazy amount to do that 50x. So yeah, but again, coming from where I'm coming from, you know, I just had a meeting today where one of the companies I'm raising money for, 50 grand. Yeah, like someone just, you know, wrote a check for 50 grand today. So and that's like minimum investment. This happens like there are some deals that I see where, like, oh, okay, this is a 6-figure deal. And that's like person to person commission, like not like this is a big deal that's in the millions and the person gets like a 6-figure commission. Like, it's insane. So and I feel like I live in two worlds. You know, one where it's just like, yeah, let's get drunk and go, like, see the new, what is that movie with what's her name, Regina George? She's like 40 now, but it looks like a good movie, like Send Help. I want to see that. Like, all right, so guys, tomorrow is Mewtwo's birthday, and I had to schedule time to play Pokemon. I had to put it in my schedule or it doesn't happen. So yeah, I love Pokemon. It's Mewtwo's birthday tomorrow, so I'm going to play. Anyway, Bill Gardner saying, "What? There's the new shareholder of VeVe, my man, Bill Gardner. Give me those dabs. Meow, 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 meow." You think 2026 still going to pump? And can OMI come back and reach 3 cents? Well, two questions here. I still think we do pump. And I was telling people, and again, it wasn't I just saw all the predictions, went with the best one, or the most likely one, and which is that dump February, March. I'm surprised West hasn't clipped that. He might have clipped that. I don't know. February, March is going to be the low. Probably stay down there for a couple months. I think it coincides with Jerome Powell getting out of office, gets replaced with someone that'll actually cut rates, And then I think you have an insane level of bull market, bullish blow off top, K-shaped recovery, market melt up that you've ever seen. Starts with Bitcoin and ETH, middle of the year, maybe Q3, and then hopefully Q4, maybe Q1 next year, you have that alt season. Will it happen exactly that way? Probably not, but I think that's a good framework. Again, been right about the February, March crash, and it might not be over. Maybe it is. Again, we don't know. It's Schrodinger's crash here. We have to go through it and live it before it's, you know, before we see what it is. Oh, Disney collectors, this one's for you. Agoro stuff. Oh, it's Steamboat. Oh, this is cool. All right, when is this going live? On whatnot? Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I'm gonna have to be there for that. I might bash something. Oh, Chun-Li comes out that day too. VeVe, whatnot. PM Eastern Standard Time. I think I might go live for the Chun-Li one. There, podcast at 8. It's my friend's anniversary today. They got married the day before U2's birthday. Ow, my back. Fear greed index. We're at a 5. God damn, that is nuts. And can OMI still reach 3 cents? I mean, that's over 100x from here. And that would be about $9 billion market cap. And I think it justifies, well, we have to see what it can justify. They have to see, and you know, that's a lot, but, and I'm not saying that it won't deserve, I mean, 9 billion is an insane amount, but people, part of the reason I think it gets there is because people don't pay attention to market cap. They're just like, oh, look at this. It's a fraction of a cent. And even when it goes to 0.001, it's a tenth of a penny. It doesn't go to $1. And obviously it won't go to $1, but people are like, you know, it could go to $1, you know, and that's 100x. And then they'll say that add a penny, be like, bro, or it'll go 1,000x. And add a penny, people will be like, yo, this can go to $1. It's only a penny. And there are people that like things just because they have 3 zeros and they don't pay attention to market cap. So that's why I think it can get there. Will it? I don't know. Say a coin flip. I would say a penny is a good resistance marker. Like if we can get past that, then you know where can we go? And it's probably a good amount. But I mean, we should get to. Again, we might be going to quad zeros here soon. But and if we do, you know, the focus on getting back to 3 zeros, then 2, and then you know we'll see. I'm good. Says VeVe has survived the downturn, especially if it last month. It's not that important. VeVe's flush with cash. This is not last month. They made hundreds of millions in 2021, 2022. They didn't just spend all of it. And then yeah, so I mean the survivability I'm not concerned with. They could operate indefinitely. But yeah, it is important for them to do well because obviously they like if they don't do well, then the token doesn't survive. VeVe Bet saying what up? What's up, VeVe Bet? I'm just drinking some water because it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Last time I was at a penny, everyone aped in. Listen to me. Rip those penny ape bags. Yeah. A lot of people aping in. They going hard, bro. They going hard. All right. We did some Definity. Let's do some DEVVE here real quick. And then there's a bit of news to go over. DEVVE's down 9, almost 10% on the day. It's actually not bad considering the insane day that we've had. $6.3 million market cap. Can it go lower? It might, but you know, this is very, very low for it. Only down 8%, which again, well, it has been actually down to 119. So it might have bottomed there. We don't know. FIAS, which was up like 30% at one point. I think it was up to like 1.2 over there, and then obviously it's down now. But yeah, at one point it was up, or 24-hour like 30+%. It's up 2% now. $1.2 million market cap. So it did get, and again, for what that company is doing, Like, oh my God, it's insane. What else we got here? We did DEVVE, Definity, daCat, FIAS. Okay, so we did the tokens here. Let me take a look at just some, because again, we did have a nice bounce here. We're actually only down 11% now, because again, we for Bitcoin went down to that 60, went up to 64-ish, 64.2, and the Ethereum, see where we're at. Same thing, only down 11. Well, we went to like 17 something, you know, and again, this is just 11% on the day. You know, 40% on the month. It was down 50% before, but that's insane. And we could do it, you know, we could do it again. For Bitcoin, again, there's a buddy of mine has a buy order set at 25K, which is nuts. I don't think it gets there. 35 to 50K, maybe. I don't know. A little night swim, as a Stranger Things reference. Very okay. Let's take a look at what do we got here. Yeah, we got a bunch of news to go over. No articles. Actually, I didn't really get to talk too much about Josh D'Amaro yesterday, talking about, I'll read this article from Forbes. Disney's incoming CEO, Josh D'Amaro, will have to boost the value of media giant. Actually, I read this yesterday. I don't want that to be going into my AI clips. VeVe just released an Archie X Army of Darkness comic. Why are you crying? Why are you crying, bro? The average cost to mine a Bitcoin is 90,000. Really? And the price of Bitcoin, well, it was 60K, but I was 64 now, but still. Damn, everyone trying to mine Bitcoin is that is not worth it. Because obviously they're losing a bunch of money. That's the way to mine. Anyway, let's go through. Contrary to popular belief, Disney's business model is driven by theme parks, not movies. Watching them reminds children to ask their parents to take them to the parks that are based on them. Gift shops selling merchandise featuring the characters and the rides are cunningly placed at the exits of attractions so that riders have to pass through them when they're carefree frame of mind. This increases the chance that they will buy the merchandise, and when their kid sees it at home, it reminds them of the park. This causes them to pester their parents to book a return visit, and the cycle begins anew. D'Amaro soon realized the importance of theme parks to Disney and got management experience in all key areas of the business. His roller coaster ride to the top started when he became vice president of sales and travel trade marketing before he changed tracks in 2010 to head up Adventures by Disney tour operator. He then got even more hands-on experience by taking a string of roles running the theme parks themselves. He was vice president of Disney Animal Kingdom Safari Park when it gave a green light to groundbreaking land based on James Cameron's Avatar movies, and later became president of Disneyland, where his fascination for the mouse began all those decades earlier. Although this brought D'Amaro full circle, it was far from the end of his journey. A role as senior vice president of resort and transportation operations at the sprawling Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, love that place, was just there, gave D'Amaro a vital insight into the infrastructure underlying Disney's biggest theme park complex, paved the way for him to become president of Disney World, where he oversaw its 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, Disney Springs shopping and dining complex, along with dozens of hotels. He held that post from 2019 to 2020, when an ironic twist of fate ultimately set the scene for him to take the top job at Disney. In February 2020, as the Rona pandemic was starting to spread around the world, Iger decided to hand over the reins to Bob Chapek. Then, head of Disney Theme Park Division, D'Amaro was named as Chapek's replacement, thrusting him into the limelight and giving him a chance to shine. When Disney's theme parks reopened after months of lockdown, consumers had pent-up demand to travel and increased desire to visit escapist environments where they could forget about the pandemic, crucially, when they were flush with furlough cash so they could afford to pay a premium. Disney made the most of this and raised ticket prices while scraping previous free frills. Disney World put the brakes on free buses from airport and also scraped complimentary queue-cutting passes as well as collectible contactless wristbands for its hotel guests. It cast a powerful spell on the experience's division's profits, while an aggressive expansion strategy boosted revenues. Over the past 5 years, lands themed to Disney's Marvel Comics characters opened at its parks in Paris and California, while Hong Kong and Tokyo got ones based on its hit animated films Frozen, Peter Pan, and Tangled. Fueled by a strong rebound and the boom in streaming subscriptions during lockdown, Disney's stock price surged to an all-time high of $203 in March of 2021, vaguely remember that. However, clouds are beginning to gather over the Magic Kingdom as the theme park fans voiced concerns at the cutbacks and increasing prices, while executives reportedly complained to Iger about an uncomfortable workplace environment. According to the Wall Street Journal, it got so bad that some executives feared tomorrow could quit. Instead, he toughed it out and paid off handsomely. Chapek's fate was sealed with the rollout of the 19 jabs, as it soon brought an end to lockdown, and in turn, workers gradually began to return to the office, leaving with them less time to stream shows and films at home. This led to a crash in streaming subscriptions, and the timing couldn't have been much worse, as it coincided with the debut of costly content commissioned when the pandemic was in full swing. Then, in November of 2022, Disney stock fell to just $91.80, a staggering 54.8% off of its peak, and its lowest price since the pandemic started to sweep around the world. Just 2 days after this nadir, Chapek was sensationally sacked and replaced with Iger, who made it clear that he would begin a new search for a successor and put tomorrow on a course for a happy ending. In an attempt to drive even more business to the theme parks, Iger began to reintroduce some of the perks that had been cut under Chapek. It went some way to appease fans, and tomorrow could finally enjoy his time in the limelight. Famous for his sparkling toothy grin, he's a regular visitor to the parks and often stops for selfies with guests and staff who are known as cast members due to the role they play in a themed environment. Tomorrow himself has 178,000 followers over on Instagram, where he posts pictures from inside the parks, posing with characters, riding roller coasters, and eating soft serve. There was a post on Reddit I read about Josh D'Amaro where they had said that it had been years since it had happened, but he would go to the parks. He was genuinely nice to people. We just wanted to see how people were, how they enjoyed it, what they liked, what they disliked, what the workers were good at, what they sucked at. And that's what I really like to see. There are, in the military, we have anyone that's a chief master sergeant above or a colonel and above. They're called distinguished visitors. They have a DV lounge. They don't mess with the commoners. They go to the distinguished visitors lounge. When someone like high up in brass has to come in, it gets an email gets sent down to, let's say, like our master sergeant, and he's like, hey, we got some senior brass coming in, make sure the place looks neat. You legit have people, this is how dumb the military is sometimes. You have people sweeping up like dandelions and grass and flowers, like from like the concrete on the way, like the person's not even going to notice. You do cleaning. It is the stupidest thing ever. Like, it takes away from the mission, takes away, but because it has to look good for the base commander or whoever, they don't even see it. But whenever they come into where we were working, it had to look spick and span, right? And there were a couple of people in my career where I recognize them. I'm pretty good with faces, where they weren't in uniform, didn't tell anyone, and we'd talk. Just come and ask me like, "Hey, I like it here." And I was like, and I'd be honest with them. I mean, you have some people that would go in and just say like, "Oh yeah, it's great, everything else great," and looking for like to get coin, get an accommodation, get whatever. But that's, if something's bad, you got to like, and I get it, squeaky wheel gets the grease, but how do you go in and expect anything to change? Like, the change isn't going to come from the top down. It's going to have to come from the bottom up. And so anyway, I really like it when people do that. It shows that they care. That shows that they're trying to just get a feel for it. And the guy on Reddit had explained that he would come in and that's what he would do. He would ask about things. He genuinely seemed to care. And a lot of the stuff on Reddit about Josh D'Amaro, him talking about AI. And I was telling this to a buddy of mine before. He's in an AI company, and we were talking about how about Josh and how the people that were talking about him were kind of talking negatively about him. They're like, "Well, yeah, he's embracing AI. I know what that means. Artists are going to lose their jobs." And it's like, he literally said we should embrace AI as a tool so our Imagineers can work better and more efficiently. Why wouldn't you want that? AI is going to take over regardless of what a lot of artists say and kids say, and there's some people that think like, oh, like the environmentalists, and I get it. Yeah, it's not great for the environment, but it's also not like there's so many other things that are worse for the environment, waste much water than AI. But also AI is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, probably going to be the biggest industry in the world. And yeah, there's some people that don't really care one way or the other, but they're in their houses. They have to pay higher water bill, higher electric bill because they live near an AI data center. Understand. The AI data centers, to be honest, are probably going to mostly be in like random wooded areas in like West Virginia or something, like areas where there's not much around, because then you don't get pushback from the people. You don't get pushback from the citizens because nobody's prices goes up. Place where you have no neighbors, which is nice for that. But yeah, like the nicest thing that said, again, this is on like Reddit. This is on like the Reddit, Disney subreddit or the Zootopia subreddit, where they're like bodying him in the comments, and it's like, this is insane. And the people that are saying this are just like, yeah, the Disney I knew died long ago, and this just makes it worse. And it's like, what do you want from them? Like, this is like, they're such an amazing company, and again, they're embracing the future. If they don't do it, other companies will, and they're gonna get the lunch. And I know, like, all these people, they have no idea of anything about how business works. Like a small business, much less, a giant one, like a behemoth like Disney. Anyway, Booth says, I'm gonna start aping into Spider-Man on VeVe. Easier to sell off anyway. Yeah, Todd Risso's partner statue, Spider-Man. Miles Morales isn't that liquid just because he's so much. He's already like $6-7 grand. It's not gonna get any easier when he's like 50 grand. VeVe Gold logo, but like comics, dude, like there are some comics that are like, what are they? Pick your fancy. Now there's Amazing Fantasy 15s, first appearance Spider-Man. I don't even know what those are. I assume they're really good. Oh, God, excuse me. But even without that, like there's some good quality comics out there, like that are, I think, what's first appearance of Mephisto? I forget which one that is. First appearance of Sentry, like first appearances of some of these characters, you can get for like a couple dollars, and it's like, dude, like there's not that many of them, and comics have done fairly well, like they're actually up from the bottoms, right? But there's not. You can't say that about everything on VeVe. Called for Nancy Mace, calling for Bill Gates to testify under oath about his Epstein ties. Good for you, Nancy. Good for you. Anyway, let's continue on with Josh tomorrow. As fans streamed through the turnstiles, Iger threw his support behind tomorrow and gave him the go-ahead to embark on Experience's biggest ever expansion, with $60 billion currently being spent on 6 new cruise ships, as well as new attractions at 6 resorts around the world. Now, what is this? Doesn't this look like one of the things that they had shown for their, I think they're like future metaverse? But apparently this is CEO will be overseeing the development of the new Disneyland park in Abu Dhabi. As this author forecasted in May of last year, before Iger could step down, he just had one big deal to do: commissioning a new Disney theme park in Middle Eastern Emirate of Abu Dhabi. 2 days after I forecasted, the park was announced, and this report explained it could prove to be one of Disney's most lucrative theme park deals ever. This is thanks to an ingenious partnership with Miral, comfortably the world's leading independent theme park operator, which will cover the cost of developing and running the resort and pay Disney a share of the proceeds. Tomorrow's had a magic touch on the fortunes of Disney's theme parks and cruises. In testimony to this, on Monday, it was announced that in the first quarter of the year, the revenue of his Experiences division broke the $10 billion barrier for the first time. It's no coincidence that just 1 day later, Disney announced that tomorrow will become the new boss, making him the 9th person to lead the company in its 102-year history. Iger will remain as director and senior advisor through the end of the year, and it will take more time. It'll take more than wave of the wand for tomorrow to beat that record. Tomorrow inherits a company which is navigating a changing media landscape, as world's attendance at movie theaters still hasn't returned to pre-pandemic levels. I don't think it will. Meanwhile, fans are complaining about the theme parks again, this time because of the ever-increasing costs of tickets. According to CNBC, the average cost of a one-day ticket to Disney World rose 5% between 2014 and 2024, outpacing typical inflation rates. Past year has been far from a fairy tale for fans, as single-day tickets to Disney reportedly broke $200 barrier for the first time in 2025, more than doubling over the past decade. So to furious fans repeatedly railing against the parks on social media. One British couple slammed Disney World for charging them $886 for 1 day at its Magic Kingdom park. as well as a night in the mid-tier Port Orleans hotel and meals in average restaurants. As this author has reported, other fans have been angered by the removal of classic Disney World attractions to make way for the new ones, which are part of the $60 billion expansion. And that's not all. However, immigration policies introduced under President Trump led to the number of foreign visitors in the United States dropping last year for the first time since 2020. Disney recently warned that its theme parks in the U.S. will take a hit from this over the coming months, and no surprise. Foreign visitors tend to stay for longer than their domestic counterparts as they have to travel further to get there. In turn, they spend longer in Disney on-site hotels and spend more in its shops and restaurants, which have blockbuster profit margins. Disney said it would offset this decline by marketing to U.S. customers, and although the park's business is still due to deliver operating income growth, it's only expected to be modest. Tomorrow leaves big boots to fill, and Disney has just not yet announced who will take the challenge of ensuring its experiences division remains a dream ticket. But we candidates include Disneyland President Thomas Maslon, Disney World President Jeff Vall, and Ken Petrock, who leads Disney engagement across sports, entertainment, and tourism events in the U.S. Loss of tomorrow of the helm from Disney's principal profit engine may explain why the stock closed yesterday. This is a couple days ago now, 0.2%. That's nothing. Market cap is $184 billion. Its price is still massive, 48.7% down from its 2021 peak, but it's 4.4 times higher than when Iger took over Disney's top job from Hollywood legend Michael Eisner in September of 2005. God, that is 21 years ago. It feels like not that long ago. In order to equal Iger's performance by the time tomorrow steps down, he would have to drive up Disney's share price $458, giving it a market cap of $813 billion based on today's data. In comparison, Netflix, which is the world's biggest media company by market cap, is currently valued at $337 billion, showing how high a mountain tomorrow has to climb. Beating Eisner's record even less likely, as this author reported, few executives have made as much of an impact on the entertainment industry as Eisner. When he became Disney's chief executive on September 22nd, 1984, stock price was just 1.24, and the studio was in the doldrums. However, by the time he handed over the hot seat to Iger 21 years later, each share was worth $23.80, and Disney was the world's biggest media company. During Eisner's tenure, the stock rose 19.2 times in value, so in order for tomorrow to equal that, by the time he steps down, it'd have to hit $2,001, given Disney market cap $3.5 trillion, based on today's data. You know how you do that, Disney? You buy part of daCat, and I will take you to the moon. That's higher than the value of Microsoft and Amazon, so Eisner's record seems safe for quite some time to come. Agreed. But it says only costs $7,000 to get 100,000 DEVVE tokens. Very nice, very nice. How much? How much? I'm glad to see some people can do some math there. Let's go to some. Oh God, we got a bunch of news to go, and honestly, a bunch of the news is gonna be outdated. Give me a sec here. All right, what's today? Thursday? David Yu having a new story. Don't you ever feel like a misfit? Oh, he's showing the story of Janie with the Agora stuff and Steamboat Willie. Good times, good times. Oh God, I didn't mean to do that. And let's go to YouTube here real quick. I want everyone to go in and smash that like button. It's a free way to help support the channel, and non-free ways are Patreon, smash the super thanks button down below, super chats as well. I love you all. That's dismissed. Okay, not really. Yesterday, Tuesday, we have to do Mondays. Pretty sure we have to do Mondays, right? Do I have to do Sundays as well? No. I don't think so. I freaking hope not. I might have to do some. Okay, Sundays wasn't that much. Chinese President Xi Jinping calls for the yuan to become a global reserve currency. Good luck with that, guy. From the FIAS Telegram group, as Tom pointed out, when Claude Opus 4.5 released in late November 2025, it was an absolute paradigm shift. Going forward, computer software programming would be flipped on its head. Anyone's guess how long before a majority of devs are let go. Tom and Will, I can only imagine, surely must have been rapidly trying to access the impact upon DEVVE, which is a software company, just like all others. Strategic planning must have omni-importance as a window of opportunity, or WOO, rapidly opened and would begin closing as competitive opportunities took the forefront. Devs would immediately feel their livelihoods be threatened and commence strategizing their own future operations. The time to attract these devs is now. Do it ASAP. Building that FIAS platform rapidly to offer an opportunity to these devs is a very strategic move, and offers a unique opportunity to those looking for an entrepreneur-style career pivot to those so inclined. Possibilities are vast for the arches or apps that can be developed on a unique platform as FIAS, including pay-per-play, instant payment, unique architecture, and speed and scalability. Truly exciting times ahead. AI, clip that. Dashund Wizard, 49,000 followers over on X. Seems like a cool dude. Asking, why has literally no one bought up the past Ultraman NFT collection that was supposed to come out and then just disappeared? Foster Hilt saying, why has literally no one bought up the past Ultraman NFT collection that have dropped on VeVe since March of 2021, which are officially licensed premium, 3D, viewable, and AR, and more? I don't know. On Iran, the supreme leader today said the attacks would spark a regional war. Trump says, hopefully we make a deal. If we don't make a deal, we'll find out whether or not he was right. My God, that is gangster. VeVe has 4.9 stars out of 5 over on Whatnot. Love that. Jim Cramer on February 1st. Clap it up for him, saying, with Bitcoin at 77,000, I figure the buyers come in all at once to move it back to 82,000. It literally touched 60,000 today. Inverse Cramer wins again. This is the Bitcoin rainbow chart that I was talking about, where the bottom was 65,000, and it went literally to 60,000 before. So the charts are invalidated everywhere. Wild stuff. Wild times. Nicki Minaj saying, your favorite artists have been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood, however the jig is up. I don't know what this is about, but I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I trust her. I feel like Nicki Minaj, if you're watching, come on the podcast. We got a lot to talk about. I also don't know why you put a picture of Chucky drinking a martini, but I'm here for it. Booth says, in my opinion, this new generation, when they become old farts, they'll see Miles Morales and Grogu as old school gems. Highly investable. Agreed. I don't want to wait till they become old farts because I'm already getting to mostly to that old fart age. I'm 35 now. I'm middle-aged. I will be like, what does the average Peruvian live to? Let's take a look. Life expectancy of the average Peruvian. I totally misspelled all that. Really? 77 years old? I would not expect that. Well, for women, it's 80. For men, 74 to 75 years. So overall figure plays Peru's longevity above the... There's no freaking way. There is no way that Peruvians live longer than Americans. Like, we have no medicine down there. That's ridiculous. I do not accept that at all. In 2023 is 77%. What the heck? I guess I'm gonna live longer than 70. So, although I've had a lot of exposure to radiation, my body's been hacked, military and otherwise. Yeah, I ain't. I'll be happy making it to 55. I'll be happy with another 20 years. Yeah. Anyway, I will be playing Pokemon till the day I die, though. So put that on your plate. February 1st with 2.1 million OMI burn. January, 50 million OMI burn. Or, oh God, yeah, that was a lot of silver. Binance buys $100 million worth of Bitcoin for its Seifu fund on February 2nd. Should have waited. Digital asset products saw 1.7 billion weekly outflows, flipping year-to-date flows to a net outflow of $1 billion and driving a $73 billion fall in assets under management. 6th October of 2025. MicroStrategy purchased another 855 Bitcoin for $75 million at $87,974 per Bitcoin. It's literally $27,000 less right now, but you know. Zama, Z-A-M-A, launched, and people who bought in at the sale were down 30% on the 2nd. I don't know what it is now. Bitmain's ETH holdings reached 4.285 million after acquiring 41,788 tokens last week. I think Tom Lee's down about $8 billion. No joke, he's down $8 billion. And he's buying more. Dude's a mad lad. Hollywood's producer hyped blood transfusion to Epstein as age reversal. Hollywood producer Barry Josephson emailed Jeffrey Epstein about Dr. Agus and young blood transfusions. All you need is blood transfusion from the pack, and you reverse aging. This has been quoted by Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She told us about blood doping, where she did experiments years ago where you take the blood of younger rats and you inject them in older rats, and the older rats start acting young again. And one of the founders of PayPal has like a farm of 18-year-olds. Just they take their blood, puts it in them, and apparently dude looks amazing. So it clearly works. I'll be in my 70s, like, hey, chum, remember that little Grogu guy? Yeah, buy him off me for 50 million. 50 million. Sell my Grogu and Tesla bots and Mars rover. I mean, I love these things. These things are great. It's art. It's the future. Flexing. But yeah, I want. I mean, I was talking with the. Oh, well, we're back up to 65,000. That was a wicked. We're literally down at 60,000 like a couple hours ago. I think the VeVe company will do exceedingly well. I think OMI will do exceedingly well. I want to get a third partner statue, but you know, we'll see. Anyway. Oh, no, can't do that. You got Michael Bauman that had purchased a couple of the drop we had the other day. I don't even remember that dropping, but apparently it did. Elon Musk confirms that SpaceX is merged with XAI. There's another $750 million USDC minted on the second. India agreed to reduce tariffs on the United States to 0% and will stop buying Russian oil. In turn, the U.S. will reduce tariffs from 25% to 18%. Trump says it was an honor to speak with Prime Minister Modi of India. He's one of the greatest friends and a powerful and respected leader of his country. We spoke about many things, including trade and ending the war with Russia and Ukraine. He agreed to stop buying Russian oil and to buy much more from the United States and potentially Venezuela. This will help end the war in Ukraine, which is taking place right now with thousands of people dying each and every week. Out of friendship and respect for the Prime Minister Modi, and as per his request, effective immediately, we agreed to a trade deal between the U.S. and India, whereby the United States will charge a reduced reciprocal tariff, lowering it from 25% to 18%. They will likewise move forward to reduce their tariffs and non-tariff barriers against the United States to 0. The Prime Minister also committed to buy American at a much higher level, in addition to over $500 billion of U.S. energy, technology, agricultural, coal, and many other products. Our relationship with India will be even stronger going forward. Prime Minister Modi and I are two people that get things done, something that cannot be said for most. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That is bananas. Bananas. Pajamas. Trump wants to get the funding deal passed in the Senate last week through the House to my desk, sign it into law. They reopened the government for a short amount of time. Yes, Elon Musk, SpaceX, and XAI valued at $1.25 trillion following the merger. Goddamn. Trump officially announced the creation of a $12 billion U.S. critical mineral reserve. Good for him. SpaceX acquired XAI. Nice. Trump says he did not know about Abu Dhabi investing $500 million in his World Liberty crypto project. Says I don't know about it. My sons are handling that. I guess they get investments from people. We had 1.5 million OMI burned on February 2nd. Zombies bet. We bet 10 doll hairs that the bottom of crypto would be in October. Now I think I said July. It's pretty. I think it's probably close to bottom. I mean, I don't know. I'd say February or March now, but you know, who knows? BitRiver, one of Russia's largest Bitcoin miners, facing potential bankruptcy after a court launched insolvency proceedings over unpaid debts. The company's been hit by asset freezes, rising power debts, data center shutdowns, and management exists, while its founder, Igor Runets, has reportedly been placed under house arrest on tax charges. Yeah, they're hecked, especially now that Bitcoin's just in the gutter. Jack Mahler said that the biggest bull market in history is coming. Maybe later in the year. We got another comment. Yeah. Booth don't be liking Trump. I think I remember that. I think Booth does not like Trump for multiple reasons. And I was in a group chat this morning where, yeah, everyone in that chat hated Trump, except for me. Not gonna lie. I think he's doing what needs to be done, even though it's not popular. On most things, not everything. Obviously, there are some things where it's like, bro, this could have been handled so much better. And because of his actions, Republicans are going to get slammed in the midterms. Like they're going to get slammed in the midterms. The Republicans will not have majority anywhere because it's just unless you have, like, people have quick memories, right? Like they fade fast. But he's going to have to pump the markets. He's going to have to end the war in Ukraine. He's going to have to do all of this stuff. I like, yeah. And honestly, not all of it is his fault. Obama went and he deported a hell of a lot more people than Trump did. You know, why was he able to do it and Trump couldn't? Because the local police force and everyone was cooperating with ICE. They haven't been cooperating now, and that's why it takes 10 people to take out one person instead of just 2 people. Like, anyway, Obama wanted to do it to get out the immigrants that Bush let in because Bush wanted cheap labor. So Obama went to get him out. Biden got him out, and second Trump does it. Oh, I know you like Trump, Randy, but in all honesty, if you ever met him, he'd probably try to get you deported, and you're legal as F, LMAO. He'd still do it because he's evil. I don't think he's evil. Now, there's a bunch of ways to describe it. It's like maybe a person, like, I think the guy that invented fertilizer was trying to make it so that, he can grow food better. But then, like, the amount of bombs that came from fertilizers wound up killing, like, I don't know how many millions, how much people. He himself wasn't evil, just the stuff that did, like, and even like Trump, like, that girl Carol, Jean Carroll, I think her name was. He had to pay, I think, like tens of millions of dollars in a civil court. Now, civil court, you don't have to get as much evidence as you do in like a federal court. But yeah, like that happened. He had to pay a bunch of money. There's a bunch of women that came out that had accused him of a bunch of stuff. I think a lot of the accusations, like, they were just thrown out as the FBI. Like, there's zero evidence with this. But when there's that pattern emerging, it's like, okay, something probably happened to, a couple of these things were whatever. But so somebody said this morning that Trump, was an R-word apist. I don't know if I could say that on YouTube. And I was like, well, there's been never convicted for it, never charged for it, no evidence to suggest that. And I think people just get this thing in their mind, like, oh yeah, he's this because it's a soundbite, and somebody accused it of him once, and they just haven't heard a rebuttal. And that's one thing. Now, is he mentioned in the Epstein files? Absolutely. But so is Michael Saylor and George Lucas, but they were only mentioned, like, so is Pokemon Go, and so is Five Nights at Freddy's. So is Bill Gates, and Bill Gates, obviously, Nancy Mace's going to get him to answer for that. But just because you're mentioned, like, Stephen Hawking was on the island, that doesn't mean he had anything to do with little kids. Apparently, Stephen Hawking liked midgets. I think they're like, Biden's son liked drugs and hookers. If he went to the island, I think he probably just did the normal drugs and hooker stuff. It doesn't mean that if just because you're on the island doesn't mean that. Now, again, anyone's on that island going to be, what the heck are y'all doing over there? But again, there's a lot of accusations out there that just don't really make, like, I just don't believe it yet. Now, again, just because I don't believe it doesn't mean it's not true, doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But again, accusations are one thing, and just real hard evidence is another. And it's just, it's hard to take on, for me to believe, or take on doubters, or to me believe people when there's no hard evidence. Anyway, from everyone I know that has met Trump, like, that I know personally, one, they say he's funny, and two, that, like, they just like. Now, again, the people that I know that have met him, most of them, yeah, they're Republicans. Some aren't. So some are on the Democrat side, and like, and now obviously this is in public. He's fine. In private, maybe he would be a little bit more crass, maybe a little bit more, whatever. But in public, he seems fine. I'd be fine with them. Like, I don't, again, because I served in the military. Even if I didn't serve in the military, I was like, Trump, I immigrated from Peru. I was probably middle left when I was younger. I don't think my values have really changed that often. I mean, like, I have a bunch of friends that are gay. I have a couple friends that are actually trans. You know, I support legalization of pot. You know, we be burning, not concerning. You know, Sean Paul in like '05. You know, a lot of my stances are fairly liberal. But you know, I kind of lean Republican now just because, you know, the far left kind of got a little crazy, and the far right got crazy too. But I just, you know, I immigrated here as a first generation immigrant from Peru. Again, not only served in the military, but started multiple businesses. I paid more taxes and donated to charity than 99% of people. 90% of people. Probably 99% of people. I think we'd be friends. Like, obviously, he's way too busy to have like friends, but I think we'd get along. I think he'd like what I did with businesses and Pokemon and just grinding. Now, I never got into real estate, and obviously, you can teach me a bunch about that. But I think we just, as people, just get along. This is normal drugs and hookers. So when do drugs and hookers become, well, if you're in that world, like that's like for like Wall Street, anyone in finance, for like people like that, that's fairly normal. Even not in finance, like if you're in medicine also, like anyone says that, like that's fairly normal. This stuff with kids is not normal. That's sick. That's disgusting. Anyone does anything with kids should, you know, 2 to the head. I'll donate the 2. You know, I'll donate whatever. Someone can be funny. Someone can be likable. Doesn't mean they're not evil. I agree 100%. I'm not seeing the things that make him evil though. And not just personally. I mean, you could be all that, and yeah, you could have done something that, you know, could have extreme, horrendous consequences that could be that could make you be a net negative for like 1,000 years. Even if you lived 1,000 more years trying to correct that mistake, you could have done something so unspeakably awful. I just don't see any evidence of him having done that though. Now, is some of the stuff that's happening, that's the, or like, again, Obama deported a hell of a lot more people than Trump did. Okay, well, why is there all this outrage now? Why are people getting tackled now, and why are people getting shot now, and what? Because back in the day, law officers and like the states were cooperating with Obama to do that. And, you know, now there's just not. Bitcoin back up to 66. That, so it went down to 60K and is up 10% in a couple hours. That is nuts. So yeah, some of the stuff that's happening now is like, anyone been in crypto since Trump became president? Crypto has done nothing but go down since Trump became president. It started way before him when Russia invaded Ukraine, but you know, like despite that, again, I think what he's doing is long term going to be a net positive for the country and for everyone that's living in it. He even learned it. Okay, so like, when has he ever kidnapped someone? When is he, like, has he lied ever in his life? I'm sure. Has he stolen some? I don't know. He just doesn't seem like a thief. Anyway, there's no like proof of that. And again, has he lied? I'm positive he's lied at some point in his life. But there's zero evidence to show that he's kidnapped anyone like that. You know, bad take. Anyway, let's go back to the rest of the news here, because we still got a bit. Cobalt E. Kobe saying, I want to thank Congressman Crypto and VeVe official from the bounty of my heart. You kept your promise, honored your word, and today I received a $2,000 bounty. That means the world to me. More than just money, it's proof of seriousness, integrity, and respect, values that are becoming rare and precious in the crypto and Web3 ecosystem. You literally saved my life at a crucial moment, and I will never forget it. Thank you for your trust, thank you for your humanity, and thank you for setting such a great example. I love you all so much. From Cobalt the Kobe, $2,000 bounty. That was written by ChatGPT. They kidnapped the president of Venezuela. That was more of a tactical extraction to get a world leader out. The whole president of you just I do it because you have the greatest military in the world. you have the greatest military, the greatest technology, and just, you know, again, the greatest in the world, and no one even comes close. Like no one even comes close. But good call, good call. Yeah, Epstein says he's spoken to the founders of Bitcoin who are very excited. So that's also why Bitcoin's had a bit of a thing, because you've had people. You know, give me 1 second. Yeah, because you've had people in the in Bitcoin that are just like, oh, you know, we can't do this. We can't be supporting Bitcoin because of the fact that, you know, Epstein was involved in some weird way. Bill Gardner is Ultimate X-Men #1. He's got 11% of the comments. It's insane. ARK Invest bought 65 million worth of Bitcoin. They are buying the dip. Damn, they have $65 million worth of Bitcoin. That was on the 2nd. That is bananas. Give me 1 sec here. That they did that. Bitcoin was at like 78, 80K. New Mexico is suing Meta for allegedly enabling child very not good exploitation. Undercover investigators created fake underage profiles and got bombarded with explicit advances and illegal content within minutes. Lawsuit claims Meta knew about the predator access and mental health damage from internal studies, but kept the addictive features running because kids scrolling means profits growing. The allegations hold up. This could be a landmark case. Tech companies have hidden behind Section 230 for years. New Mexico is testing whether that shield has limits. It's February 3rd. Okay. Oh my gosh. Elon says, so we'll get to most of the weight, like 80 to 90%, you know, cash as one. And then hopefully civilization doesn't self-annihilate. The actual notion of a human economy, assuming civilization continues to progress, will seem very quaint in retrospect. It'll seem like sort of caveman throwing sticks into a fire level of economy compared to what the future will hold. That is shit. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. There was no alt season the other day. Fear and greed index 5. That is nuts. That's cool. That's cool. Tom Anderson from DEVVE says, I've appreciated your support over time. Appreciate you in the community. Talking to a guy named Night Shift. In my February update, I'll give a clear picture of overall directions across all things dev. In short term, some of the other things you mentioned, I'll point out to you and everyone that a lot of this isn't black and white, and there is a goal of finding the right balance. We wait until everything is assured, then there are too few updates. Describing material concepts that are uncertain in timing can be valuable for people. Often it's not possible to know for sure if something will be done in 60 days. We cannot say anything until we're positive on timelines, but then maybe we're saying too little. And you also have times like where dev streams payments don't come in out of left field. And from experience, I've learned being too defined on timing innately can often be wrong. I do think there are things we have done poorly though, and the new comm strategy will be better. Maltbook AI agents and why he thinks we're likely in a simulation. You've probably seen the clips from multiple sites, including Maltbook, where AI agents talk and interact with each other, question humans, and look for ways around the off switch. So Mario Nawful brought Rizwan Virk on the show to talk about where he's actually heading. What we have right now isn't AGI, but it's a shift. These AI agents can talk, remember context, and increasingly act. Today, that mostly means text. Soon, it means APIs, money, paperwork, and real-world consequences. And that's when things quietly change. Elon Musk's XAI begins hiring crypto experts to teach AI models how to trade. And I volunteer as tribute. Gold and silver. Give me 1 sec here. Bitcoin. Elon Musk says SpaceX may put Dogecoin on the moon next year. Tom Lee's Bitmine bought $46 million worth of Ethereum. Getting wrecked. All right, today's Thursday. Today is Thursday. By cheap. First appearance. I guess first appearance Rogue is super cheap. First appearance Havoc is under $1. I burned 130,000 OMI by buying a partner statue. ING opens retail access to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, ETPs in Germany. Tether launches open source Bitcoin, moving OS to challenge proprietary software. And famed startup incubator Y Combinator to let founders receive funds in stablecoin. MetaMask integrates tokenized US stocks, ETFs, and commodities. House Speaker Johnson says the House will approve legislation on Tuesday to end the shutdown. I think that had already happened. LA County had around 1,900 hospice agencies, more than 30 entire US states. The entire state of Florida has over 22 million people and only a few hundred. This is exactly why Trump administration is talking about when they say waste, fraud, and abuse. Nancy Pelosi in January disclosed a sale of $500,000 in PayPal stock. This week it was down 20%. Wonder why? Because Nancy has inside information that she uses to trade. Should be illegal. Okay, the U.S. military shot down an Iranian drone approaching Navy aircraft carrier in Arabian Sea per Reuters. Shout out to the U.S. military. Are there any Telegram channels I should join besides the official DEVVE, DFINITY, and FIAS ones? I guess daCat. Are you okay? Hold on. Where are you in? Let's see where you're at. Where are you here? I'm gonna try to get Penguin. Okay, Penguin. I'll shoot you a message. Now, and I'm gonna get you into daCat. How do I share this group? No. How do I share the group? Video chat, leave. No, I don't want to leave group. Appearance, okay. Can I invite? Copy. I'm gonna go back to you over here. We don't have a OMI one for whales. I mean, I'm sure it exists. I'm not in it though. Well, what else you got? DEVVE, DFINITY, FIAS. Penguin, hold on. NGUYN. Penguin. Woo. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a. Let me see what telegrams I'm in here. There's a daCat whale one, but you need a trillion daCat to get in. I don't know what that is right now. Let me check. I don't think it's that. I mean, it might be a bit. Let's see. It might be like $1,700 to get into daCat whale chat because you need a trillion of it. But you don't need to be in the whale chat. Like we'll be in the can't find it on VeVe or Comey channels though. There aren't, like, the VeVe gold logo has one. So if you have a gold logo, yeah, and getting that one, only the Comey announcement chat, yeah, there's nothing in there. There's really no, but which is I think they should have one, like, but they don't for some reason. So, you know, Mr. MC1 set up a gold logo one. He has an Comey logo one too. I haven't really been in that in a while. I don't know how many people are on there. Give me one sec here. Okay, I guess we're gonna average him down on DEVVE for his life. Wait, what? Okay, with continue the one about payroll. Wait, what? What? Oh, my boy. Well, my friend's son, but he's my boy. I feel like I'm closer to the kid's age because the kid's like 22, 23. My friend's like 48. Guess we're the same in between. Anyway, Detroit Lions and Indianapolis Colts want to talk to him. I've been following him since he was the #1 guy in his position in the transfer portal. He has another good year like last year. I can't wait to see him. Oh my God, that's amazing. That is incredible. My boy's a long snapper. Nico Crawford. Played for Pitt last year. Weighed him and measured his height. Taught him fit. Sheesh. Oh my God, that's incredible. My boy's kid might be going to the NFL. That is nuts. Dude, good for him, mate. Good for him. Anyway, let's keep on going here. Crypto prediction platform Polymarket announces launch of a free grocery store in New York City. Cool. That is a lot. 170. Nope. Yep. Government's open. U.S. passes the government. Yep. Pending shutdown. Oh, apparently we might have a. All right. This is Keenan Thompson, king of the knuckle puck. Might be doing a Mighty Ducks 4. It's knuckle puck time. Yeah, that'd be dope. We got Celestials over here. Yep. We're on Tuesday here. What's today? Thursday. Okay. House votes to reopen government. They did. Spencer, founder of Orange Cap, OCap Games, and Headburb at Moonbirds. 40,000 followers over on X. Adam Weitzman saying, you know, when Spencer drives 4 hours last night in the dark to visit you in a brutal cold Binghamton, New York, for an hour at dinner to explain his vision for the future of Moonbirds, then turns right back around and drives straight back home for another 4 hours, you know he's very serious about his community and project. Made a large investment last night to help play my part and show my full support and confidence to it. Very excited to add 200 Moonbirds to my collection and become one of the largest holders. The future looks very bright. That's $500,000. Yeah, damn, that's amazing. That owns over 9,500 collectibles and comics on VeVe, and I don't own most grails. I still need a VeVe logo. Walt, Todd, Superman. Todd and Superman are easy to get. Generally, you do want the most expensive one first, because if Superman doubles from $116 to $232, not bad. But if the logo goes from $3,500 to $7K, that's an extra $7,000. That's an extra $3,500. You know, so generally you want to do the most expensive one first. But you know, at the end of the day, to each their own. You know. Oh God. Hold on one second. I need to hopefully it takes a turn upward. Oh my God. Oh, sorry, babe. I love my friends so much. I'm streaming laughing now. Friends are great. Give me one sec. Staff exchange dozens, recruiter. Oh my God. Sorry, okay, we're gonna get back to that. Anyway, I requoted this saying like, hey, Spencer, how do you feel about, you know, collabing with daCat on a comic? I think you'd like what we're doing. We'll see. It's one thing to buy grails from every NFT collection. It's another to buy large collection size as part of your support for NFT projects. Adam Weitzman does both. Since last year, he's acquired the following via OTC deals: 5,000 other deeds and strategic 8-buy, 229 Meebits, 100 Quirkies, 48 Pudgy Penguins, 48 Lil Pudgies, and 48 Rogs, and 200 Moonbirds. All these are on top of his buying spree, one of the most rarest NFTs across almost every NFT collection there is. There's no doubt that Adam is NFT's biggest patron right now. And then Adam said that he's actually not. There's others that are bigger than him. Which is wild. What else we got here? Stacker World. You have Charlie NFT saying, can I transfer my Nike swoosh NFTs to my Stacker wallet instead of my MetaMask wallet? Dr. Collect says, not a good idea at the moment. We don't support other NFT projects at the moment. You'll own it on Stacker wallet, but our wallet will not show it. Supporting other NFT projects is on the roadmap. So can't wait for that. It's on the roadmap. BlackRock be buying and selling Bitcoin all the time. Mid-game. Authorities are calling it the largest, if not one of the largest, if not the largest drug bust we've ever had on Long Island. 2 Florida men could face drug trafficking charges after being caught with over 600 pounds of cocaine in the parking lot of a Plainview Holiday Inn last week, authorities announced. That is insane. Elon Musk is now worth $850 billion. That's nuts. Fanny Carbonell requotes Dr. Collect saying, interesting update. For now, we have to wait, but soon you'll be able to store your NFTs off VeVe on Stacker. Ambushed by Grassy. What the heck? That's insane. Jack Yee's Trend Research built $1 billion leverage long on Ethereum via AAVE, becoming one of the top holders in late 2025. Then he went down $562 million in unrealized losses as ETH drops and sold $360 million worth of ETH on Binance. ETH hits 1,800, his $1 billion positions will be liquidated, and that happened today. He was liquidated. F. I'm calling F down below to pay respects. Yeah, it's a beast. Yeah, so talking about Josh Morrow is signaling to become the new CEO. Some guy says it was about time. Iger has made nothing but bad news the last few years, the most recent one being his AI investment during a time when people gave Disney a chance again because of Zootopia 2. All right, this is what I don't like about this. Most recent being AI investment during a time, like, why is that a bad thing? And you're saying when people gave Disney a chance again because of Zootopia 2, it's like, okay, you think that people stopped liking Disney? Like, I'm sure some did for some varying reasons, but it's like, you think Disney just went away? And you think that people came back just because of Zootopia 2? I'm sure there's some people where that's true, but that's likely a really, really small percentage, like not 0.00001. Anyway, he says, don't know anything about tomorrow, but let's give him a chance. He should focus on going back to the roots of what made Disney special and let the Marvel and Star Wars studios do their own thing. Go back to the core business, which is animated movies. How are you going to go back to animated movies where everyone else in the world is going to be using AI? And I'm not saying to just have it all AI, but help use it as a tool. Sufficient funds saying you realize the only reason he invested in AI was to compete with the rise of social media. A guy named Film Freak says that's not much of a defense for Iger. He was also into NFTs, and look how that ended up. So I said, NFTs make Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, etc. a ton of upfront money and recurring revenue. It's a long-term play that seemed to have already paid off. And the guy was like, oh, I found the NFT shiller. I was like, listen, 99.9% of NFTs are scams, but this makes real money for the company that you all supposedly love, despite y'all. The only other times I've seen people like hate on the thing they love the most is like Tesla Q, which they didn't really love Tesla, and like the VeVe futters. And then that's it. And then Disney peeps. Seems insane. Space Penguin says we gotta make it. I love this game. Space Penguin. We might have to renegotiate my deal. We had this deal, something about a tattoo, but ETH is now so low. I don't. You know what? I will still honor because you are what's that Pokemon song? Brother, my brother. If you still want to do that deal, we can do it, and it's gonna be next to nothing because we buy Tesla bots. I will one day. I'll have a bunch of stuff for it to do. Am I going to be one of the first people that do it? Probably not, but yeah, I'll definitely get one. Also, bro, water is so freaking good. I love it so much. Okay, where was I? Celebrating 30 years of Pokemon with a special video debut during Super Bowl on February 8th. Super Bowl on February 8th. Pokemon. Can't wait. Satoshi era whale sold all his Bitcoin after 15 years of holding in late 2025. Made over $1 billion. And now he could buy it all back for a heavy discount. European Parliament agrees to resume work on advancing key trade U.S. agreement. Very good, very good. And that's going to be it. No, we're going to do, we have some other, man, I have so much stuff to do. I don't want to do it. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons has recommended against gender transition surgeries for youths, becoming the first major medical association in the U.S. to narrow its guidance on the pediatric gender care. Weren't you banned on Twitter for saying this years ago? Seth Dillon says we were told these surgeries weren't happening, and then they accused us of misinformation, hate speech, and incitement for saying that they shouldn't be happening. Wild. Tom Homan pulled out hundreds of federal agents out, effective immediately. Why? Because local jails are finally cooperating. So arrests now take 1 or 2 agents instead of 8 to 10. Minnesota playing ball. ICE doesn't need the backup anymore. Good. Animal Kingdom, you wanted to build Tesla bots. Depends on how good they are. Because, like, our animal sanctuary, like we're gonna have to deal with poachers. Now we're gonna pay the government enough to where we can take care of the poachers, but that still needs the human touch. Like I have a bunch of friends from the military that are willing to do it. They are more than happy to be itchy trigger finger with some poachers, and they're, I feel like they pay me to do it, but you know, the Tesla bots, I don't know if I really trust them in that part of the world. Where I mean, again, should be fine, but when not at first, when it gets like, you know, booking and moving, maybe I'll let y'all know. Let y'all know. Space Penguin, give me those hearts. Oh, I love the Space Penguins. They're so freaking cool. Volatility. Canada's investment watchdog sets new rules for crypto custody. Fidelity stablecoin FID goes live for retail and institutional investors. Give me 1 second. Now, Trump says, I've completed an excellent telephone conversation with President Xi of China. It was a long and thorough call where many of the important subjects were discussed, including trade, military, and April trip that I'll be making to China, which I very much look forward to. Taiwan and the war between Russia and Ukraine, the current situation with Iran, the purchase of oil and gas by China from the United States, the consideration by China of the purpose of additional agricultural products, including lifting the soybean count to 20 million tons for the current season. They've committed to 25 million tons for next season. Airplane engine deliveries and numerous other subjects, all very positive. Relationship with China and my personal relationship with President Xi is extremely good one, and we both realize how important it is to keep it that way. I believe that there will be many positive results achieved over the next 3 years of my presidency, having to do with President Xi and People's Republic of China, President Donald J. Trump. GOP senators push Treasury to buy Bitcoin using gold reserves. Do it soon, because I guess it could go lower, you know, but don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. Treasury Secretary Besant defends Trump's Bitcoin reserve while testifying in Congress. So the asset seizure that $1 billion of Bitcoin was seized, 500 million was retained, and that 500 million has become over 15 billion. On February 4th at 11:30, $1 billion USDT was minted. Michael Saylor's strategy is down a lot. Treasury Secretary Besant says he does not have the authority to use taxpayer funds to buy Bitcoin. 5 years ago, 2021, I said, I make videos in the morning. I'm on the phone during the day speaking with clients. I make videos at night. I go home and wrap up Pokemon cards that I've sold during that day and wake up and do it all again. I was working 90-hour weeks. It was insane. And then I had a girlfriend at the time too. Also insane. My friend. I told people that if companies that I have shares in, they sell or they get sold, they raise money, and we're down at like 30K a Bitcoin, I said I'll buy 10 of them and give one to the daCat Chronicles wallet for their treasury to do whatever we want to do it with. Treasury Secretary Besant testifies on Trump's Bitcoin reserve, $1 billion of it. Yep, I read that before. $1 billion of the Bitcoin was seized, 500 million was retained, and that 500 million has become over 15 billion. Look at myself. Meow, 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 meow. Busy like a really tall bee. There's a $4,000 bounty on Chun-Li, mint number 1987. $4,000 bounty on Chun-Li, mint 1987. What do we got in the comments? Trainer Ace, do you still pawning Pokemon cards, bro? I never really pawned them, but I will get back into it. When? Originally, I was going to say end of this year, but I don't know if crypto's going to... I mean, it doesn't really matter what crypto does. The companies I have should do a lot. Maybe end of this year, maybe early next year. I'll see. Guy in the VeVe Facebook groups has finalized your pricing strategy. MTD, is that McFarlane Toy Digital? Sets an example for pricing and scarcity on a major IP. I didn't even know these guys were still functioning. The Penguin DC Classic drops on Tuesday, February 17th. There's 1,500 of them with $10, per one. I didn't know they were even still operating. Good for them. This guy really likes the price of it. He says VeVe should do the same. I don't think they need to, but partly because our collectibles are better. We do it for $10. It's volatility, Canada, Fidelity stablecoin FID goes live for retail and institutional investors, and CME Group CEO reveals plan for CME coin. Lowest. Trump says Warsh wants lower rates, and I wouldn't have gotten the job if he supported raising rates. Very good. MicroStrategy is down a lot. Well, most of my money is in shares of companies, very little crypto. Okay, aspects. Tweet images. Sorry, looking for other news. All right, so this one's from Tom from DEVVE. As we previously described, Forever was separated from DEVVE to manage tokens under MiCA. This happened while Gensler was the lead of the SEC, and while the SEC was aggressively pursuing actions against many crypto companies. Forever established itself in Europe to operate under MiCA. It is not surprising, therefore, that I didn't know about the tokens being minted. There was a bunch of tokens minted from DEVVE the other day. It was purposeful that I not be involved because we wanted a clear and real barrier between the blockchain's operations in the US and the management of the tokens in Europe. When I said above that, I didn't know about it and I would look into it. It was a simple statement of fact. I don't have a particular reason for concern. After that initial statement, I've seen, as often happens in crypto, speculation and fear. So I'm writing this now. Forever has legal obligations on how they utilize tokens. They can't just mint and sell them to do whatever. Not in charge of Forever, so I can't give an absolute assurance by definition, but I think there's no material practical risk for those tokens being sold by Forever, as I see it as a mechanical event. Forever has original SAFT obligations that they need to be able to fulfill, and the issuances into pots that have binding legal obligations. Again, I see this as mechanical. I'll look into it, but my assumptions are based on the signed legal agreements. No one should be jumping to conclusions. It would be illegal for Forever to use tokens outside the tokenomics that they agreed to when the transfer from DEVVE happened, as well as when they signed contractual agreements with DEVVE. And Forever is not run by shady, unvetted, and unknown people, of course. Buddy mine's checking in on me saying, smart man, have a lot in Tesla. Yep, Tesla is awesome. We love Tesla. Iran nuclear talks are back on. Going against what was reported by the mainstream media, Iran says nuclear talks with the US are still happening. Yeah, mainstream media lies. Melania says she's actively working to get more Ukrainian kids released and promises updates soon. Good for her. February 4th? No, we're in the 5th. February 4th, 1.6 million OMI burned. Very good. Oh my God, how many freaking pieces of news are there? 1221. I don't know what that is. Squidcat says, Dragon members, I've gotten behind on staking rewards for December and January. I recently sold a business and then moved a second one to a new location. It's taken up all my time. Started building automated process for staking rewards. Bear with me and thanks for your patience. Tom Lee's Bitmine's down like $8 billion. Damn, that's insane. Guy named Makoto Kern says, seems like there are two possible big boys involved in the flash crash. Reports confirm that Zhongkai Futures, a major Chinese commodities broker, has netted over $500 million in profits since Friday by betting against silver. They started aggressively building short positions in late January, specifically targeting the retail long squeeze hype when they used Friday Massacre when silver dropped 26% as their first strike, and they are using tonight's Shanghai Open to finish the job. They're essentially hunting the remaining bulls. That is bananas. BlackRock sold $373 million in Bitcoin yesterday. That's nuts. Also, I saw this morning. I don't know what that is, but it's scary and I want it. Anyway, everyone please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Fudge, I guess. Crap, I have so much stuff to do. All right. Everyone say goodbye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. Never mind, I'll find someone like you.